கூடந்திருக்கும் அனைவருக்கும் இயேசு கிறிஸ்துவின் நாமத்தினால் அன்பார்ந்த வரவேற்பு. மறுபடியும் உங்களை இதன் வழியாக சந்திப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இன்றைய நாளில மறுபடியும் ஒரு முக்கியமான ஒரு தலைப்போட நாம் இணைந்திருக்கிறோம். அனைவரும் தெரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டிய ஒரு தலைப்பு. இந்த காலகட்டத்திற்கு ஒரு சிலர் இதை குறித்து தெரியாமல் இருக்கிறாங்க. குழந்தை தத்தெடுப்பு, நிர்வாக கடிதங்கள், இந்த மாதிரியான காரியங்களை எப்படி நாம் அணுகுவது, சரியான நபரிடத்துல எப்படி இதோடைய காரியங்கள் கை கொள்ளப்படுகிறது என்று இன்றைய நாளில நமக்கு பேசவிருக்கக்கூடியவர் நன்கு அறிமுகமான, நிறைய பேருக்கு இந்த சேவைகளை வழங்கி கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய வழக்கறிஞர் லோயர் சகோதரி ரூபி அவர்கள். வணக்கம் லோயர்.
வணக்கம் பாஸ்டர்.
மறுபடியும் உங்களை சந்திப்பதில் மிக்க மகிழ்ச்சி. எங்களோட நீங்க இணைந்திருப்பது எங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷத்தை தருகிறது. உங்களுடைய பிஸி ஷெட்யூல்லையும் எங்களுக்கு நேரத்தை ஒதுக்கி இருக்கிறீங்க. ரொம்ப நன்றி லோயர்.
Thank you pastor.
ஒரு சில அறிமுகங்கள்.
Okay. I will speak in English, pastor. Thank you pastor for this opportunity to speak. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here. And to all the Facebook and YouTube audience, Wanakam. A little bit about myself. I was born in Kulim, Kedah, and I studied in a primary school in Father Barry's Convent in Sungai Petani, Kedah. And my secondary schooling was in Sekolah Menengah Sultan Batlisha in Kulim. After finishing my Form 6, I worked part-time in a few different places like a clinic and restaurants for 1 year, praying and figuring out what my career plans. Then I enrolled in the Breakfields College for my law studies. After getting my bachelor's degree in law, I continued with my CLP, also in Breakfields College. And once I completed my CLP, I was called to the bar on 25th March 2000 in Saraman High Court and admitted as a full-fledged lawyer. I started working in Eric Yam and Associates around June 2000 for 1.5 years. And then I worked in a firm called Azam Malik & Saw from 1st September 2001 until 23rd July 2006. And then I joined as a partner working in TS Steel and Tower & Co. from 24th July 2006 till 31st December 2015. And since 22nd January 2016, I have my own practice under Ruby & Tower & Partners as a sole proprietor. My late father was a pastor, and he passed away on 10 September 2014. My mom stays with me. Her name is Joanna. I have 2 siblings, Mark and Jen, Jennifer and Mark. And I'm married to Thompson. And I'm very active serving in my church.
Wow, wonderful, sister. Actually, sister பத்தி சொல்லணும்னா, லாயரை பத்தி சொல்லணும்னா, நான் நினைக்கிறேன் 2016ல அவங்க இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் ஆனாங்க, இஃப் நாட் மிஸ்டேக்கன். ஸோ எனக்கு நானும் அவர்களோட பழக்கம் வந்து 2016, ஏற்கனவே ஒரு 5 வருடமா நான் எனக்கு அவங்கள தெரியும். ஒரு சில கேசஸ் அவங்ககிட்ட ரிஃபர் பண்ணியிருக்கிறேன். அடாப்ஷன், அதாவது தத்தெடுப்பக்கூடிய காரியங்களை நான் அவங்களுக்கு ரிஃபர் பண்ணியிருக்கிறேன். மிகவும் அழகாக ஒவ்வொரு கேஸையும் முடித்து தந்திருக்கிறாங்க. So thanks a lot, sister. Thanks for your help and also support. Thank you. So நம்ம கேள்விகளுக்கு போவோம் சிஸ்டர்.
Okay.
லாயர் அவங்க இங்கிலீஷ்ல தான் நிறைய காரியங்களை பேசுவாங்க. நான் என்னுடைய கேள்விகளை தமிழ்ல கேட்பேன். அப்படி ஏதாச்சும் கஷ்டமான காரியங்கள் இருந்துச்சுன்னா நான் தமிழ்ல டிரான்ஸ்லேட் பண்ணுவேன். சிஸ்டர், முதல் கேள்வி, what is adoption? தத்தெடுப்பது என்றால் என்ன?
Okay. Adoption is actually basically the act of taking another child, another person's child into your family to raise as your own child. Yeah, so it is a process, in a legal process of going about it. And there are so many different reasons why people adopt the children. Some due to infertility, they are not able to have their own children. Some, they just want to help a specific child. And some, they want to do it for social justice. Yeah. And
okay, good, sister.
Okay.
The question is எவ்வாறு தத்தெடுப்பு மனு செய்வது? How can I apply for adoption?
Okay. Basically, there are 2 ways of applying for adoption. there's two provisions. One is the Registration of Adoptions Act. For this act, right, it's catered more for the Muslims, but can also be used by the non-Muslims. But it's basically provided for more for Muslims. And this is actually applied to into JPN, Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara, not to the courts, JPN, and it's through the Welfare Service Department as well. And for this application, the parents must be taking care of the child for at least 2 years. That's one of the requirements. And yeah, and this process takes a little bit longer than going to the court. It's cheaper but longer, and for this process, you will not really get a birth certificate like a usual. You will be given a certificate of adoption. So the word adoption will be mentioned in the certificate. So which most people will not really favor this method because they do not want the children to know that they are adopted.
Okay, so இதுல வந்து நமக்கு தத்தெடுப்புன்னு அந்த சர்டிபிகேட்ல போட்டுருக்கோம்.
Yes, correct. That's right. Yes. And
yes, sister, go ahead.
Yeah, and so the second method is which is the more popular one, is the Adoption Act 1952. This is only for non-Muslims. So all my cases are, the ones that I handle are all under this Adoption Act 1952. It's applied through the courts, to the Mahkamah session, and you have to engage a lawyer for these cases. This process is much faster, and for this process, JPN will issue a birth certificate under the adoptive parents' names, and there is no word of adoption mentioned at all in the birth certificate. So basically, the two ways is Adoption Act 1952 and the Registration of Adoptions Act 1952. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, sister, for the good explanation. What are the importance of following proper legal process for adoption, sister?
Okay, there are many benefits of going through the legal process. One is you give protection for both the child and the parents, because when you go through the courts, it's legally binding. So all the parental rights are transferred from the biological parents to the adoptive parents. So all the rights, duties, responsibilities, obligations, and liabilities are transferred to the adoptive parents. And it also gives the right for the child, because now the custody, maintenance, education, everything is now taken care by the adoptive parents. So one is to give protection for both the child and the parents. Secondly, to enable the parents to deal with legal matters like registration for school, to apply for passport, or even going to the hospital, government hospital. All of this, you need to have legal papers to say that this is your child. So that is the second protection. The third is biological parents will not be, able to come back and fight for their child and say, I want my child back. Because once you go through the course and you've gone through the proper legal method of adoption, the child is yours. So they cannot change their mind and take the child back. So that's very traumatic for the adoptive parents.
Okay.
And the fourth one is for inheritance of property. So once the child is adopted, they will inherit the properties of the adoptive parents. They have the rights. They the rights over the parents, and the parents also have the rights over the adopted children. Yeah, as though it's their own child. And finally, you can also get to change the surname of the adoptive child to your own surname of the adoptive parents.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the fourth question, common question from our viewers. What is the age requirement for adoption, both parents and also child?
Okay. The minimal age requirement for an adoptive parent is 25 years old. You have to be 25 years and older to adopt a child.
Husband and wife?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Husband and wife. And the age difference between the adoptive parents and the adoptive child must be at least 18 years gap.
Okay.
18 years gap. But if the adoptive parents are related to the child, like your your sister's child, your brother's child, there's a blood relation, then by general rule, they allow 21 years as well.
Okay.
Yeah, for the parents. And
Okay. Let me explain in Tamil
yes,
like this.
okay, yeah.
Okay. அதாவது தத்தெடுக்க போறாங்கன்னா அந்த நபர்கள் அதாவது பேரண்ட்ஸ் பெற்றோர்களுக்கு குறைந்தபட்சம் 25 வயது பூர்த்தியாயிருக்க வேண்டும். அதே போல் குழந்தைகளுடைய வயசுக்கும் அவர்களுக்கும் 18 வயசு அந்த இடைவெளி இருக்கணும். 18 வயசு. இதே சொந்தக்காரங்க அதாவது சகோதரி மீன்ஸ் கூட பிறந்தவங்க அல்லது உறவினர்களுடைய குழந்தையை தத்தெடுக்கிறாங்கன்னா அவர்களுக்கு 21 வயசு பூர்த்தியாகி இருக்க வேண்டும்.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. And the child has to be a minor. A minor is 18 years and below. So once the child is 18 years and above, you cannot adopt the child. They are no longer a child, and adult.
Yeah, they are became a major, I think, if not mistaken.
Age of majority, yes.
Okay, the fifth question. தத்தெடுப்பு செய்வதற்கான ஆவணங்கள் மற்றும் செயல்முறைகள் என்ன? What are the documents and process involved for adoption?
Okay. The documents involved are basically when I want to file for adoption, we need the original birth certificate of the child. It's very important that the child has the original birth cert, and on the named on the biological parents, not on the biological parents, and also IC of both the adoptive parents, and marriage certificate of the adoptive parents to show that they're married. And if the adoptive parents already have children of their own, we need a copy of the birth certificate of the children. Yeah, and also maybe particulars of the biological parents as well, if they know it, yeah.
Okay. The sixth question, sister. I think some of them very interested in this question. Can a single person adopt a child?
Yeah, sorry. I think what are the process involved for adoption? I have to cover. I haven't covered yet.
I think it's finished. Okay.
So the formal application for this Adoption Act 1952 for non-Muslims, we need to make an application to court, sessions court, and the time frame is around 6 to 9 months. Actually, we can complete within 5 to 6 months if it's a straightforward case. And one of the criteria that's required is the adoptive parents must already be caring for the child or in custody, of the child for 3 consecutive months before they file for adoption. They must be taking care of the child for 3 consecutive months, and then they can file an application to the sessions court. And by application and affidavit, and they also require to produce the original birth cert of the child to court. And also the other requirement is they need to get the express consent of the biological parents. So for consent from biological parents is usually by statutory declaration, Surah Aqwan. Surah Aqwan meaning the biological parents have to sign it before the commissioner for oath. And in these kind of cases where the biological parents cannot be traced anymore, what happens is the court can actually waive. The lawyers can apply to waive the consent and attendance of the biological parents in certain circumstances, like they cannot be traced anymore, or they're withholding the consent unreasonably, or the child has been abandoned, or ill-treated, so that the courts can waive the consent of the biological parents.
Passed away?
Yeah, parents passed away. Yes, correct. That's another good one. And also this once we file the matter into court, we go to court twice. There's 2 hearings. So the first is, and the courts for children adoption cases is always in the judge's chambers to protect the children. It's not in open court. And so for the first hearing, we need to obtain the court will appoint the social welfare officer as guardian ad litem to investigate the welfare of the child. So to appoint the guardian ad litem, and also for consent of the biological parents. So if consent cannot be obtained for the first hearing date, we will apply to waive the consent and giving the reasons. And the other thing is that the court always requires is if we cannot produce the Surah Aqwan or the consent of the parents, they will want the lawyers to advertise in the papers that, you know, this child is being adopted. So in a way, even if the biological parents do not read the paper, it's deemed served. So the courts just want to safeguard the interest of the child and the parents. So one day the biological parents cannot say, "Oh, I was not served, so I object." You know, it's deemed served. It's just extra protection for the adoptive parents.
How
And
many times do you do an
what's that?
advertisement in a
Yeah.
newspaper system?
Yes. We can advertise in any newspaper. So we usually we advertise in a paper that or in a language that is common for the biological parents. So if they're Indian parents, we try to English Indian Tamil speaking, then we try to advertise in a Tamil paper. Chinese parent in a Chinese paper,
How
and
many
so
times they will do the advertisement? How many times?
one time, only one time,
One
one
time. Oh,
day, and yeah, it's just a small column. Yeah. Only
okay.
one time. Yeah. And after we've advertised, we have to file an affidavit of service to court and produce a copy of the advertisement to the judge to add, so the judge is satisfied that we have advertised and done everything in our power to locate the biological parents. Yeah. And so
Do
after the
that.
first hearing date, the welfare officer will contact the adoptive parents and to interview them and the child. So basically, they will investigate the background of the parents and the children to make sure that they are capable of caring for the child. Financially, they are sound. There's no signs of abuse. The child is happy and healthy. You know, so they will interview them and they'll prepare a report. So for the second hearing date, when we appear in court, again, all the parties will be in court. The adoptive parents, the child will also have to attend court, and then the officer will produce the report to the judge. So the judge will read the report and is satisfied. So the power lies in the welfare officer to conduct the proper investigation and submit to the judge. So once the welfare officer has no objections, the judge will then grant the adoption order, and that is final. So once the order is granted by the judge, the lawyers will file in the relevant court orders. Yeah, then once the court order is extracted, we will submit everything together with the previous original birth cert to JPN, and JPN will then issue a new birth cert on the name of the adoptive parents. Yeah, and there's no word of adoption. It's like a normal birth cert.
Just
That's the process.
do the adopted parents need to submit their financial support documents to the court?
They don't have to submit to the court, but they will have to submit to the officer. So when the officer meets the parents to interview them, there is a lot of requirements. They will be asking like, what's the salary scale, pay slip, how many properties do they have, do they have shares, do they have bonds,
Oh,
what's your financial standing. So it's very detailed. They'll ask very detailed questions to ensure that the parents are sound. But even in cases where I've done so many cases, um, even if the parents are really poor, like I have done this case that the parents were staying in Rumah Panjang and they were taking care of these two children, and they were so worried that the judge will not allow the order because they are quite poor. But they have been taking care of the children for years. But
oh,
in this kind of situation, they are very compassionate. The officers and the judge, they do not want this. They always make decisions based on the welfare of the child. So it is really against the welfare of the child if they were to pull away these children who have always been together with these parents and the loving support is there. To remove them from the parents is very, it's very traumatic. So they do not do that. So even though this couple are really poor, the officer granted the order. I mean, did not object to the application, and the judge granted the adoption order.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sister. The sixth question will be திருமணமாகாதவர்கள் குழந்தைகளை தத்தெடுக்க முடியுமா? Can a single person adopt a child?
Yes. A single parent can adopt a single person can adopt a child. If it's a single lady, there is completely no restriction. She can adopt a boy or a girl. If it's a single man, that's actually the law does not prohibit a single man from adopting, but as a general rule, uh, if the single man is going to adopt a boy, they have no problems. But if the single man is going to adopt a girl, then they will refer the matter to the Registrar General of Births and Deaths and also the Department of Social Welfare to make sure that that is fine. So they will check the backgrounds, like, they want to prevent sexual abuse and all that. So a lady can adopt a boy and a girl. A man can adopt a boy, but a man adopting a girl, they will have to go through the welfare officers.
Let me explain in Tamil. ஒரு கல்யாணமாகாதவர்கள், திருமணமாகாதவர்கள் குழந்தையை தத்தெடுக்க போறார்கள்னா ஆணோ அல்லது பெண்ணோ முடியும். ஆனால் பெண்ணா இருந்தா அவர்கள் ஆண் பெண் இரண்டு பிரிவினரையும் தத்தெடுக்கலாம். ஆனா ஆணா இருந்தா தத்தெடுக்க போறது, ஒரு ஆண் குழந்தைய தத்தெடுக்க போறாங்கன்னா ஆணை தாராளமா தத்தெடுத்துடலாம். ஆனா பெண்ணை தத்தெடுக்கும் பொழுது நிறைய ப்ராசஸ் அவர்கள் கடந்து போக வேண்டியது இருக்கும். அது அரசாங்கம் ரொம்ப கவனமாக அதை கையாளும். ஓகே sister. Okay, our following questions. பிள்ளைகளின் உறவினர்கள் அவர்களை தத்தெடுக்க முடியுமா? Can a relative of a child adopt the child?
A relative of the child can definitely adopt a child. I think in many cases they are encouraged because the child then stays within the family. Yeah. So I think the only condition is that they must be at the right age, 25 years old if for a normal adoption, but if they are related, they will allow probably by general rule 21 years old.
Okay. The following question. Can a child who is born overseas be adopted by married couples in Malaysia?
Yes, they can. As long as they they have fulfilled the normal period of residence, ordinary resident in Malaysia. That means they must be staying, like, for example, like the adoption that's under the JPN. That the parents must be taking care of the child for at least 2 years in Malaysia. They must be residing in Malaysia for at
Like
least 2 years.
Permanent resident.
Yeah. So the child can be born overseas, but the married couple who is adopting have to be taking care of the child for 2 years. That is for the Muslim adoption. And for our adoption act, at least 3 months. So, and the child must have proper traveling papers. So these are the only requirements. Yeah. So if that is the case, if that is that is fulfilled, then they can adopt.
The parents need to stay means in 2 years in Malaysia.
Yes, they must be residing in Malaysia.
Can you not?
And taking care of the child here.
Okay, 2 years. Okay.
Yeah. That is under the Registration Adoption Act. Yeah.
Okay. One more thing, sir. Can a married couple residing out of Malaysia adopt a child residing in Malaysia? Is it possible?
Yes, they must be staying here continuously for 2 years, taking care of the child as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to following question. Can the surname of a child be changed through adoption?
Yes, you can. Most couples, adoptive parents do that. So when we are applying for adoption, one of the prayer in the application to court, we state down that the adoptive parents wish to change the name of the child to a different surname, following the adoptive father's name.
Okay. Thank you, sister. Sorry, a lot of questions. Okay. The first question, can the biological parents take the child back after the adoption been approved by court?
No, they cannot, because the court adoption is final. The court order is final. So once the court has already granted the order, the biological parents cannot take the child back unless they can prove there is forgery or fraud, that and the child was taken away from them without their consent. So the part where the adoptive parents need to obtain the biological parents' consent is very important. So in the scenario where we have like when for example the biological mother remarries, they divorce from the biological father, her husband, and then remarry someone else, and the biological father could have abandoned the family, abandoned the wife and the child, and moved away, or not visited the child, or just being irresponsible. So and then the mother, meets someone else, marries another person, and the second husband adopts the child as his own. And in this kind of scenario, you have to get the consent of the biological father. You still have to get the consent. But if the child cannot be, the husband cannot be traced, the biological father cannot be traced, then we need to advertise, going through the proper method. So sometimes if you do not do, the advertisement, or, do the right method, then one day the biological father can come back and contest the adoption order. I never gave consent, so this is not valid. And so the whole adoption will be void. So the consent is very important.
Okay, let me explain it, Amma. உதாரணத்துக்கு இப்பொழுது அம்மாவும் அப்பாவும் பிரிஞ்சிட்டாங்க. அம்மா வந்து இன்னொரு திருமணம் பட்டாங்க. அவருடைய பேரு அங்க சர்நேம், அதாவது தந்தையாருடைய பேராக உபயோகப்படுத்த போது அப்பாவை நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியல. அவருக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்ணி எங்கேயோ போயிட்டாரு அல்லது எங்கேயோ போயிட்டாருன்னு வைத்துக் கொள்ளுங்களேன். அந்த சர்நேம், அந்த தகப்பனாருடைய பெயர் மாற்றம் இடத்துல சரியான காரியங்கள், சரியான நடைமுறைகள் கடந்து செல்ல வேண்டும். அப்படி அது கடந்து செல்லாவிட்டால் ஒரு நாள் அவரு உதாரணத்துக்கு பேப்பர்ல அட்வர்டைஸ்மெண்ட் கொடுக்கல, இந்த மாதிரி சரியான ப்ராசஸ கடந்து போலனா ஒரு நாள் அவர் வந்து அந்த கேஸ் ஃபைட் பண்ணி மறுபடியும் அவருடைய பெயருக்கு மாற்றிக்கொள்ள முடியும், சரியான ப்ராசஸ கடந்து செல்லலைன்னா. அதனாலதான் ரொம்ப மிக முக்கியம் இந்த குழந்தை தத்தெடுப்புல காரியங்களை. இப்பொழுது நீங்க இந்த பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கிறவர்கள் யாராவது உங்களுடைய குழந்தைகள் யாராவது தெரிஞ்சவங்களை நீங்க தத்தெடுக்க போறீங்க, உங்களுக்கு ஆசையா இருக்கு அந்த குழந்தையை தத்தெடுத்து, அந்த குழந்தை யாரும் இல்லாம இருக்கிறாங்க, அனாதையா விடப்பட்டிருக்கிறாங்க, அல்லது பெரிய குடும்பமா இருக்கிறாங்க, பிள்ளைகளை வளர்க்கறதுக்கு கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க, நீங்க ஒரு குழந்தையை தத்தெடுத்துக்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்கன்னா தயவு செய்து இந்த அடாப்ஷன், அதாவது இந்த குழந்தைகளை தத்தெடுக்கக்கூடிய காரியங்களை செய்யக்கூடிய லாயரை நீங்க கண்டிப்பாக தொடர்பு கொள்ள வேண்டும். நம்ம பிற்பாடு லாயர் ரூபி அவர்களுடைய நம்பரை வந்து நம்ம ஷேர் பண்ணுவோம். ஷேர் பண்ணும் பொழுது நீங்க அவர்களுக்கும் நேரடியா நீங்க கால் பண்ணி பேசலாம். மலேசியால எந்த இடத்துல நீங்க இருந்தாலும் அவர்கள்கிட்ட நீங்க தொடர்பு கொண்டு அந்த காரியங்களை நீங்க பேசலாம். அவர்கள் நிறைய கேசஸ் செய்து கொடுத்திருக்கிறாங்க. என்ன பர்சனலா நிறைய வெளிய ஸ்டேட்ல இருந்து உள்ள காரியங்களும் அவங்க செய்து கொண்டிருக்கிறாங்க. சிஸ்டர், லாஸ்ட் क्वेश्चन.
Okay.
Adopted children guaranteed citizenship in Malaysia?
Sadly, they are not. Adoption Act does not address the issue of citizenship for adopted children. There is they're just very silent on the issue of citizenship. So usually what happens in this kind of scenario is when we get the birth certificate is not an issue. The adoption order given by court is not an issue. So once the certificate is issued by the courts, it will state bukan warga negara for the child. So it's very sad in many cases that I have handled. One of the scenario is when adoptive parents actually adopt children from these biological parents. They innocently they register the person on their own names instead of biological parent, biological mother. So maybe they got, sometimes there's a lot of syndicates as well, even doctors they're also involved, they help out. So they instead of going through the courts and the legal way, they register as their own child, which is illegal. So the sad part is that usually maybe the parents, adoptive parents, are Chinese and the child is mixed. So when they want to apply for IC, when they are 12, or they want to apply for a passport and they go to JPN and they look at the child and look at the parents, they already know it's pretty obvious that it's not their child. So they start questioning. So they will tell the truth. Okay, this is not my child. This is what I did. And what happens is that they revoke the birth certificate. And they will issue a new birth certificate, and with all the information on the birth certificate stating maklumat tidak diketahui. So even though the child could be a Malaysian, the biological parents or mom could be a Malaysian, they straight away lose their citizenship, because by the time they apply for the IC, the child is 12 years old. so long ago, so they can't even trace the biological mom. So when they come to us lawyers, we will go to court and apply for adoption order. The court will provide that. We will apply for a new birth certificate, and the birth certificate will be named on the adoptive parent's name, but the warga negara is gone. So at this point in time, it is so difficult because for in Malaysia, the citizenship is actually based on because the Adoption Act is silent on citizenship. So in Malaysia, it's based on the federal constitution, and federal constitution provides that the person must be born in Malaysia. That's one, and that the parents must be a Malaysian citizen for the child to have citizenship. So if in this kind of scenario where biological and always the citizenship of the child is based on the mother, the biological mother, and not the father. So in a situation where in this kind of scenario where I give that is where they cannot trace the biological mom anymore, so it is really difficult. So even though they've gotten the adoption order and the birth cert, they'll have to apply for citizenship under Article 15A of the Federal Constitution to the Home Minister. They will have to go to JPN. There's a Warga Negara department. They have to show, okay, I've got the adoption order, I've got a birth certificate. There's a form they have to fill up. They have to provide all the documents, and it takes a long time. And it's on the discretion of the Home Minister. They could still reject that application. So and clients have to wait a long time. So for my case, there's some of them who have already obtained it. Some of them are still waiting.
Okay. We got a question from viewers. If the adopted child, after grown up, wants to change his or her parents' details back to the biological parents, what are the relevant process? Let's say the child already came to know so and so is my biological parents. So she or he wants to change back the name.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, in this kind of scenario where the child is grown up, is above 18 years old, and they can make up their own mind, they have a right to apply to change the name. They can. They have to make an application to JPN. There's a form that they need to fill up for a change of name, and they have to give the reasons. And JPN will then process it, and most probably they might allow that. But it could be done. Could be done.
They can apply before major or even when they are below 18 years old also they can apply.
No, below 18 years old, I doubt it, because they need the parental consent. Because once you are age of majority, when you're an adult, you can make up your own mind. You can make your own decisions. Yeah, but if you're below 18, you are under the guidance of your parents and your guardians, so it's a bit difficult.
Okay, so before we go to next topic, do you have anything to cover up for the adoption system?
Yes. The issue on citizenship is a big challenge for a lot of people, in this country. They are still struggling, and also the other scenario which is really sad is children born out of wedlock, to a couple who's not married. The father is a Malaysian, and because the citizenship of the child is always based on the mother's citizenship, so the father could be a Malaysian, mother is a non-Malaysian, they are not married, because the father, this man is already married, so he has an affair, has a child, and because they are not married and the mother is a non-Malaysian, the child doesn't obtain citizenship. It's not granted citizenship. Yeah. So if a child is
let me explain in Tamil. இது ஒரு தற்பொழுது மலேசியால நடக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை. இந்த தேங்க்ஸ் சிஸ்டர் இந்த காரியத்தை நீங்க பேசுவதற்கு. அதாவது கணவனுக்கு அவர்கள் தெளிவா சொன்னாங்க, சிட்டிசன்ஷிப் குடியுரிமை என்பது தாய் எங்க பிறந்தாங்க, மலேசியால பிறக்கலையா, இதுதான், அதை சார்ந்துதான் குடியுரிமை இருக்க போது அந்த குழந்தைக்கு. ஆனா தகப்பன் உதாரணத்துக்கு மலேசியன் திருமணமானவரா இருக்கலாம், திருமணம் ஆகாதவர் இருக்கலாம். ஆனால் வெளிநாட்டு பெண்களோடு, அதாவது மலேசியால இருக்கக்கூடிய வெளிநாட்டு பெண்களோடு வேலை செய்ய மலேசியாவுக்கு வந்திருப்பாங்க. இந்தியால இருந்து வந்திருக்கலாம், இந்தோனேஷியால இருந்து வந்திருக்கலாம், வியட்நாம்ல இருந்து, மியான்மர்ல இருந்து, எங்கிருந்து வேணாலும் அவர்கள் வந்திருக்கலாம். அவர்களோடு தொடர்பு ஏற்பட்டு திருமணம் ஆகாமலே மலேசியா முறைமையின்படி, அதாவது போன வாரம் நம்ம பார்த்தோம் மேரேஜ் ரிஜிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் எவ்வளவு தூரத்துக்கு முக்கியம்னு, பதிவு திருமணம் ஆகாமலே அவர்களுக்கு குழந்தை பிறந்துருச்சுன்னா அந்த குழந்தைக்கு குடியுரிமை இருக்காது மலேசியால. அத நம் இந்திய சமுதாயம் மிக மிக தெளிவாக தெரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். ஏன்னா குடியுரிமை என்பது அம்மாவை, தாயை சார்ந்துதான் இருக்க போகிறது. அம்மா மலேசியன்னா அந்த பிள்ளைக்கு குடியுரிமை இருக்கும். அம்மா மலேசியன் இல்ல, அவர்களுக்கு குடியுரிமை இருக்காது. Sister, you can go ahead.
Yes. So it's very important for parents to follow the proper procedure when registering the child's birth. If they would, if anybody would like to adopt a child, make sure that the birth cert is registered on the biological mother's name or and the parent's name and not their own name. That's the first step. Do the proper way, register the child on the biological parent's name, and then take the child home together with the original birth certificate, see a lawyer and go to court, and they will do the right processes. That's number one. Secondly, even for children born out of wedlock, like do not, allow your child to be, born out of wedlock if you're not married, especially if the mother is not a citizen of Malaysia. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, sister, for the wonderful explanation about the adoption. நான் நினைக்கிறேன் நிறைய பேர் இதை வந்து பயன்பெறுவீங்க என்று நம்புறேன். இன்னும் நீங்க பிள்ளைகளுடைய பெயர் நீங்க வளர்த்து கொண்டிருக்கீங்க, வீட்டுல பல வருஷமா பெயர் மாற்றப்படலையா, நீங்க லாயர் ரூபிய தாராளமாக நீங்க தொடர்பு கொள்ளலாம். சரி, நம்ம அடுத்த காரியத்துக்கு கடந்து போவோம். ஏன்னா இன்னும் ஒரு 5-10 minutes தான் நம்மளுக்கு இருக்கு முடிக்கிறதுக்கு கொண்டு வரதுக்கு. ஓகே, probate என்றால் என்ன?
Oh, probate. Probate means, okay, when a person dies with a will, but by already preparing a will or a wasiat. So
Okay.
What happens is that the executor whose name in the will have to go to court and apply for a grant of probate. It's a court document that gives effect to the will. So if a person wants to withdraw money from the bank, transfer the property, they cannot use the will. They will have to use the grant of probate, which is issued by the court, proven by court.
Proven by court. Okay.
Yes, because they will advertise to say, whether this will can be contested, and if no one comes forward to contest, then they will give the grant of probate.
Okay. Thank you. The second question: how long does it take for me to apply for grant of probate?
Actually, grant of probate is very fast. In fact, if everything goes on very smoothly, you can even extract it in 1 to 1.5 months. It's very fast. The High Court they work very fast. Yeah.
1 to 1.5 months.
1 to 1.5 months if it's a straightforward case without any hiccups. Otherwise, definitely below 3 months.
Okay. The third question: what are the difference between probate and letter of administration?
Probate is in a scenario where a person dies with will. Letter of administration is when a person does not prepare a will, so dies without a will. So then his estate and his properties will be distributed according to the provision of the law.
Okay.
Because it doesn't state how he wants to distribute, so the law will provide how to distribute.
Okay. The following question: what are the documents required for the application for probate?
Okay. Basically, we need the original will and death certificate of the deceased. We need 2 executors that's named in the will. We need their IC and a list of assets and liabilities, like what are the properties they have, where the bank accounts they have, shares, etc., insurance and everything. And also the liabilities, like whether they're still owing money to different people, different banks, all the details. And also, the two witnesses in the will will also have to provide a statutory declaration, Surah Akwan, that they did sign the will. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The next question will be, what can I do if the executor has failed to carry out their duties?
Okay, then the beneficiaries who are entitled to the properties, they can
Okay.
file a legal suit against the executors. Yeah. They can actually first of all they can file a petition to either demand a complete accounting of the estate's asset, or they can remove the executor as well. And an executor who is if they file a suit and the court finds them guilty, if they're charged and found guilty, then they can be guilty of contempt of court, which carries they can be fined or they can even be jailed. So it's quite a serious crime if they breach their duties. Yeah.
Anything else to
Or the
if,
beneficiaries can also file a civil suit to recover loss of stolen assets. If the executor has stolen the money, yeah,
oh,
they can go to court to recover via the assets.
okay. எனக்கு பிரியமானவர்களே, பார்த்துக் கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடியவர்கள், ஆஹ், நீங்க லாயர் ரூபியோடைய நம்பர் உங்களுக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணப்படும். நீங்க அவர்களோடு நீங்க வாட்ஸ்அப்ல கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணலாம், டைரக்டா கால் பண்ணலாம். ஆஹ், நம்ம ப்ரோபேட் பத்தி பேசியிருக்கிறோம், அடாப்ஷன் பத்தி பேசியிருக்கிறோம். இன்னும் அடுத்ததாக நம்ம லெட்டர் ஆஃப் அட்மினிஸ்ட்ரேஷன் குறித்து பேச போறோம். நீங்கள் அவர்களோடு டைரக்டா நீங்க கம்யூனிகேட் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, எனிதிங் டு add on in probate, sister?
That's all, Pastor. There's nothing much to that.
Okay, letter of administration, தமிழ்ல வந்து நிர்வாக கடிதம். What is letter of administration?
Letter of administration is it's a legal document which is issued by the High Court of Malaysia, allowing the person who is appointed as the administrator to administer the estate or of the deceased. So like I think if for letter administration, it only always applies when there is no will. So you can apply for this letter administration from either the High Court if the property is above 2 million, and there's land above 2 million, you can go to the High Court. Or you can if there is property and the value of the property is less than 2 million, you can apply it at the land registry, land office, or you can also apply it in Amanah Raya Berhad.
How long does it take for me to apply for letter of administration?
Letter administration actually takes much longer than the probate. It can take up to 6 months to 9 months, depending on how complicated it is. Yeah, it's much slower.
Okay.
A lot more work.
Our last question: how would the estate or property be divided under letter of administration since there is no will?
Okay. If there's no will, the estate will be distributed according to the law under the Distribution Act 1958. So usually if there's the deceased leaves behind a parent, surviving parent, let's just say the deceased is a husband, is a man. So let's just say he left behind his parents, that his wife and his children. The parents will get 1/4 of his estate, and the spouse, the wife, will get 1/4, and the children will get half share in equal shares, like there's more than one child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything to add on in a letter of administration, sister?
Yeah, I think basically we actually have a whole table of how is the distribution goes. For example, if there's only spouse, no parents and no children, the spouse will get the whole estate. If the parents let's just say there's no children, only parents and wife, then the parents and the wife will get half share. And if there's only issues, no spouse and no parents, then the children will get the whole estate. If only parents, the parents get the whole estate. Yeah, so there is a whole table of how the distribution will go. Yeah, but basically the parents, the spouse, and the children are the ones who are beneficiaries under this Distribution Act 1958.
Okay. So thanks a lot, lawyer sister Ruby, for the
Thank you.
wonderful explanation about the adoption, probate, and letter of administration. எனக்கு பிரியமான பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய நேயர்களே, உங்களுக்கு ஏதாகிலும் கேள்விகள் இருக்குமே ஆகில், அல்லது ஏதாச்சும் நீங்க தெரிஞ்சு கொள்ளணும், இல்ல நீங்க இந்த பிரச்சனையை கடந்து போய்கிட்டு இருக்கீங்கன்னா, நீங்க தாராளமாக லாயர் ரூபிக்கு நீங்க கான்டாக்ட் பண்ணலாம். நான் நினைக்கிறேன் வாட்ஸ்அப் நீங்க அனுப்புனீங்கன்னா பெட்டரா இருக்கும். அவர்கள் திருப்பி உங்களுக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப் ரிப்ளை பண்றதுக்கு. நம்ம இந்திய சமுதாயம் நிறைய காரியங்களை இன்னும் நாம் சில தெரிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டியது இருக்குது. தெரிந்து கொண்டு சரியான காரியங்களில் ஈடுபட்டு நாம் நடப்போம். நிறைய இடங்கள்ல போய் ஏமாந்துடக்கூடாதுங்க. அதுதான் ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அதுக்காக தான் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி நம்ம ஏற்பாடு செய்து நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். அடுத்த வாரம் இன்னொரு தலைப்போட உங்களை நான் சந்திக்கிறேன். தேங்க்ஸ் a lot sister, really appreciated.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you.
உங்களுடைய டைமை ஒதுக்கி உங்களுடைய நேரத்தை ஒதுக்கி எங்களோட நீங்க செலவு பண்ணதுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி சிஸ்டர், ரொம்ப நன்றி. பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய நேயர்களுக்கும் மிக்க நன்றி. மறுபடியும் நம் அடுத்த வாரம் சந்திப்போம். தேங்க்யூ.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you.